All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're stepping right into the middle of a digital detective story. We're going to unpack a absolutely massive, newly discovered cyber threat that was just documented in April of 2026. This isn't just some minor glitch or an isolated scam we're talking about. We are looking at a highly organized, rapidly scaling fraud network operating right under our noses in an app that millions of us use every single day. We're going to follow the digital footprints meticulously uncovered by the cybersecurity analysts over at CTM 360 to understand exactly how this massive operation works.
Okay, let's dive into this. Our central mystery today starts with a pretty big question. What happens when app convenience becomes a weapon? Because let's face it, we've all grown entirely accustomed to totally seamless digital experiences, right? We want things fast, easy, and right at our fingertips. But the very familiar, user-friendly interfaces that we instinctively trust are actively being used to mask a vast, global conspiracy. To understand how the perpetrators pull this off, we first have to examine the scene of the crime. So the scene of the crime is the Telegram mini-app ecosystem. If you aren't familiar, these are basically lightweight web applications built directly within Telegram. They're incredibly popular because they enable seamless logging, instant payments, and super fluid interaction, all without ever forcing you to leave your main chat window. It is the ultimate frictionless experience. But here's the terrifying reality. Bad actors love a frictionless experience just as much as we do. Because these mini-apps exist entirely within the trusted borders of Telegram, our guard goes down. It makes these highly convincing environments the absolute perfect camouflage for a fraudulent campaign.
Which brings us right to Section 1, Unmasking the FEMITBOT network. Let's look at exactly how those analysts hunted down the digital footprints of this massive operation.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is this tiny snippet of code. When cybersecurity experts investigate fraud, they aren't just looking at the shiny user interface that we see. They're digging deep into the back-end communications, tracking the actual network traffic. During their analysis of multiple suspicious domains in mini-apps, CTM 360 uncovered this specific hidden API response. And it acted as the absolute smoking gun. This tiny little piece of data was the thread that, when pulled, tied an entire global malicious infrastructure together. And that hidden code returned this exact chilling message. Welcome to join the FEMITBOT platform. It was literally their spooky calling card. The threat actors had left this recurring response across wildly distinct domains and completely different fake applications. By identifying this consistent message, investigators proved that despite the totally different disguises these scams wore on the front end, they were all leveraging the exact same underlying FEMITBOT backend kit. It completely exposed the massive, centralized scale of their entire operation. Moving on to Section 2, Global Industries Under Attack. We really need to shift our focus to the victims here, because FEMITBOT wasn't targeting just one little niche. They were launching a remarkably diverse array of attacks across the globe.
Take a look at this hard visual evidence. You've got an interface pretending to be an NVIDIA AI mining app right next to a spoofed version of the Spiderpool crypto platform. If you were just a regular user clicking through a Telegram link, these look entirely legitimate. They have the right branding, super clean login fields, really professional layouts, but they are complete illusions. They're custom-built traps generated by that FEMITBOT kit to steal your credentials and siphon your financial assets.
And this brilliantly illustrates the staggering scope of the deception. The scam isn't just limited to computing or crypto. We're seeing fake interfaces for Youku, which is an entirely different industry, streaming media, sitting right alongside spoofed trade exchange financial services apps promising high ROI crypto staking. The threat actors simply swap out the visual skin of the mini-app while keeping the malicious data-stealing backend exactly the same.
So when you synthesize all the visual evidence the analysts uncovered, the list of targeted global industries is absolutely huge. Just look at the brands being spoofed. In streaming and media, they're mimicking the BBC, Netflix, Youku. In crypto, they're going after heavyweights like Binance, MoonPay, and BitGet. For AI and computing, they pretend to be NVIDIA or CoreWeave. They even target financial services like StraitsX and Circle, along with various mining pools. This FEMITBOT kit is just so highly adaptable, it allows these criminals to cast the widest net possible across high-value targets worldwide.
Okay, so how do they actually pull a user into this web in the first place? Let's transition to Section 3, Anatomy of the Trap, and break down the exact mechanics of how these cybercriminals operate.
Get this. Before you even open up Telegram, the trap is already being laid with some truly alarming sophistication. Threat actors using this kit are utilizing metapixels. Yes, literally the exact same tracking tools from Facebook and Instagram that legitimate digital marketing agencies use. They use these pixels as a tracking mechanism to monitor user activity, measure engagement, and optimize their fraudulent campaign performance in real time. They are effectively running a highly optimized, data-driven marketing agency, but their product is pure deception.
Let's move to and see how this builds to map out the exact sequence of this trap. Step 1 is pre-acquisition. Victims are targeted and lured in via those highly optimized meta ads or through unsolicited Telegram invites. And the bait? It is almost always a promise of passive income. Whenever you see that phrase, it should be a massive red flag. Then comes step 2, acquisition. The user interacts with the bot and is prompted to click a highly convincing Launch App button. Boom! Once you click that, you're pulled entirely out of the standard chat and into their fraudulent mini-app environment.
To truly grasp the architecture of how they do this, think of it like a restaurant. On one side, you have the Telegram bots. This is the front of house. It's the interaction layer, the shiny menus, the welcoming host, designed entirely to make you feel comfortable and secure. But on the other side, hidden completely from view, are the phishing domains. This is the illicit back of house. This is where the really dark work happens, handling back-end user authentication, processing fake payments, and quietly warehousing all of your stolen data.
So the crucial point is that FEMITBOT is not a single isolated scam. It is a terrifyingly scalable plug-and-play criminal franchise. Analysts highlight this as a tight integration revealing a modular and reusable architecture. Because the front-end bots and the back-end phishing domains are completely decoupled, criminals can deploy dozens or literally hundreds of different bots with minor variations in theme or branding. They can switch from a fake Netflix app to a fake Binance app in a flash, while running all of them through the exact same malicious back-end logic.
Which leaves us with a pretty stark reality to consider as we wrap up this explainer. The very technology making our lives easier is actively being reverse engineered to deceive us at an industrial scale. With seamless Telegram integrations hiding these highly modular, rapidly shifting fraud architectures, we really have to change how we interact with digital opportunities. So the next time you get a slick, frictionless invite promising effortless returns, how carefully will you scrutinize your next passive income app? Stay sharp out there and always trust your instincts.